Hey everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. We were finally able to see 1917. After everybody else in the world has already seen it because they released it early in, select major cities?
11 cities in the world.
Just for awards consideration, I think that's kind of skeezy.
Every awards contender does it at Christmas time. Every single one.
If they're going to be considered for awards season, I think they have to open wide.
Yeah, well, it didn't work for Cats. In fact, they pulled Cats from the awards consideration.
1917, a World War I movie starring Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay, directed by Sam Mendes. I remembered all of them. If you want to know what the professional reviewers think of it, well, go somewhere else. If you want to know what a couple of guys just going out to see movies think of it, then stay right here and we'll give you our review.
We decided to do this review just like they did in the movie, all in one shot, which means we have to walk for the entire length of the... No, I'm not going to do that. So one of the key selling points of this movie is it's shot in a way that it makes it look like it's one continuous shot. So it never breaks and sets off to another scene, and it never changes locations. It just flows, and you're following these two soldiers on their quest. Point of the story? It's going to hear spoilers. Point of the story is, it's in the trailers as well. There's two soldiers. One of them's brother is in another platoon, and they are about to set an attack, and they're going into basically a trap. They're going to be slaughtered if they launch this attack. These guys have to go across enemy lines and find their way to that battalion to say, don't attack. So it's basically a 2-hour movie, and it's a 2-hour story that never stops.
And right when you set the camera on the star of the movie, the two stars of the movie, right there, you feel like the camera doesn't come off of them.
Yeah.
So there's no cuts, you're looking over here and then suddenly you're looking over here. It's just fluid motion of the camera.
Yeah, you're never going to see Paris, France up on the screen because we've changed locations. It's just going to be, you're following these two soldiers. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a 2-hour movie. Is there enough story there to keep you interested for 2 hours of watching? A lot of this movie is you watching them walk.
I think 50% of the praise that this movie is getting is just for this effect.
Yeah, and cinematography.
Now, is it worth all of that praise? I think they did it successfully.
Yeah.
But in large part, I think it detracted from a lot of my enjoyment of the film.
Just because, there's scenes in this movie that you feel, and I'm not going to get anything away from the actors and everything, but for instance, there's a scene where a truck gets stuck in a pothole. They find a ride. He finds a ride. And he is so focused on getting there while the other soldiers don't really care. They're out there taking a cigarette. They're relaxing. The truck's stuck. Who cares? But he convinces them through his, angst about how much he has to get going that they start pushing and believing in him, and then they find out his story. But all that scene is 9 minutes of the movie. So he basically got in a truck for 9 minutes, which means he got, another 500 yards down the road because he was stuck most of the time. So it's...
And the rest of that time is, we're not kidding, it's walking and it's running and it's standing, and you see it all. So yeah. You're living his journey of 8 miles in real time.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. It gave a lot of intensity at times to the film, but then a lot of times when you're just walking through a forest for 5 minutes, you're kind of thinking, okay, I'm supposed to think this is awesome, but really, right at this moment, I'm kind of bored.
Yeah, and at one point, there are shots being fired at one guy over and over again, and I'm sorry, no professional soldier would have missed in a lot of these cases. I mean, look,
come on.
When he's climbing up the bridge, there's a sniper aiming at him from a window ledge, and all he does is hit everywhere around him.
We're not talking about scopes and sniper rifles.
Doesn't matter.
We're talking about World War I rifles in bad lighting.
He was 25. No, it was daylight at that one, and he was 25 yards away tops.
Okay, whatever.
Sorry. You're toast if I'm that German person in that room. But I mean, some of the decisions also, like, there were some surprises. The rat scene, won't give it away. That, it was well acted, well done.
I really like the performance of the two stars.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, those who've seen The Mandalorian, you see these two land speeder stormtrooper guys in one of the later episodes, and they're just chilling at their land speeders, and they're just everyday guys. Well, that's what these soldiers are. They're just young kids out doing a job, and they're not James Bond or Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. They're just regular kids out on the front line.
And they mess up.
Yeah, they're scared.
And they get grossed out. There are some visuals in this movie that will, if you have a squeamish stomach and this kind of stuff, you might not like. Or, anybody with post-trauma distress from the military, I would recommend not seeing the movie, probably.
It's very visceral, this movie. But I'd say on the whole, if you're thinking this is a war movie, like I just saw, what are your favorite war movies? This movie. This isn't like that, I don't think.
No.
This is kind of like just a journey like the Hobbit.
That happens to be in a war.
Yeah. It's the Hobbit going through a World War I zone. So it's a little bit more on the drama side than the war story side, I think.
And there was actually, the visuals are so good in this movie, but there was one scene in particular near the end when he's getting close to the battalion and the flares are going off. You can see the flares reflection in the water, and that part was cool. But at one point, the orange lighting that was there, it made it look like a set. It made the stone look fake.
It did.
I really thought I said, that looks like White Christmas effects from the movie White Christmas. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's a set. And if it's not a set, they built this out there. That's not real stone out there. And that took me out of the movie.
If you remember the trailer, this is the part where he's running all over the place in broken stone buildings.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I think visually it was.
It was. I was, like I said, that's the only one that really took me out of the movie. They kind of piled on the dead bodies, which I was not in World War I, and I understand that the trenches were horror. So I can't take away from that. But I think some of the things that they did was more for your visual. But it did work. I enjoyed the movie.
Now, I am very conscious that there are a lot of reviews out there that are piling the praise onto this movie.
Yeah.
Now, how much of that is because of rah patriotism, support the troops? And how much of it is because this is a movie of a lifetime?
I don't think it's the rah, especially since it's a British film and it's taking place in World War I. I think it's more along the lines of, hey, look at what we did. We did a continuous shot visually. You can't tell that we ever cut the camera. And I think that's where the praise is coming from. And it did work as a movie and a story. It was okay.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about twists and turns and ups and downs, you're going to have ups and downs just because of little obstacles he meets along the way. But it's very basic, this storyline. Deliver this message delivered, and done. Yeah. That was the resolution. The message was delivered, and you don't get anything after that. It's just
that's where it ends.
Great. What am I supposed to feel right now?
Yeah. And there were a couple points in this movie where one of them goes unconscious or something happens to them, and it just goes to a fade to black. So you're looking through their eyes and then you're looking down at the face until they wake up. But it's such a prolonged fade to black that we jokingly said, oh, time to go. And it was like 28 minutes into the movie. So, would you recommend it first off?
I would recommend this to people who are interested in history or they like they have no problem with slow dramas.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think a lot of kids are going to enjoy this. I think
No.
I think women will be hit and miss on this. It's not, to me, a must-see epic movie. I wouldn't put it as the best movie of the year, but it was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
So basically it's like every other Oscar contender out there normally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically it's a movie out there that some people would enjoy, but the masses are going to look at it and go, oh, it was okay. Mm-hmm. It was okay. Out of 10, 7?
I would actually give it a little bit higher than that. I would go 8, maybe even an 8.5. Just...
We don't give 8.5s very easy.
I don't give 8.5.
Is this story worth 8.5? Here's a letter. Go over there. I went over here. I gave the letter. The story's over.
True enough. But I think I gave A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood an 8. And I believe...
But that movie changed your life.
I believe that this movie, at least technically, was deserving of a little more praise. So I think I would give 8.1 then. 8.1.
As an average moviegoer, I'd have to say it was okay. I didn't regret seeing the movie, but would I rush out to see it? No.
But it's definitely on the list of movies you could go see during a really slow week at the cinema.
Or January. Or January month and February, because it's a slow month. So you have your choice between this one and Underwater. I would say go see this one. Well, hope you liked the review. If you did, why not check some of our other content down here below. And until next time, we'll see you on the channel. Yeah,
okay.
Big stars here in the U.S.
So if you want professional reviews, okay, you have to go somewhere else. But if you want to know what regular guys think of it...
And
well,
Google.
Then...